Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, this morning all the index futures are looking negative. One of the things that happened yesterday after close, which changed the entire complexion of the market, was Google results and the China response to tariffs. Both of them together seem to have taken a little bit of a hit to the market, but I don't think it's going to stay low for long. There is going to be, in my opinion, some kind of rollback, and the China position will again be rolled back. They are promising to do some investigation into Apple Store practices, which they will take back. Right now there's a discount of 3% on Apple, around 9% on Alphabet. Both of them, I think, is a buying opportunity. Yesterday I had sold 350 out of 600 Google shares that I had, Alphabet shares that I had, the Canadian side. So today I might think of buying them back and lock in the profit in cash. So that's my plan, and I'm thinking that the way things are proceeding, the next 2 to 4 years are going to be extremely volatile, because we do not know what Trump is going to do and whether he will follow through with it or he will not. This also gives rise to a very big problem, which is going to create global financial imbalance, in my opinion, because whenever any problem happens, all the funds from the world goes into US treasuries and the yields start dropping because there is more demand for the US treasuries, as a result of which the dollar gets stronger. And even if the problem is created by US itself, the money starts pouring in. Now that is going to create an imbalance. At some point of time, the rest of the world is going to look at this and say that their dues, which are to be paid in US dollars, seem to be very high, and the system is rigged against everybody else. And therefore, alternative forms of currencies, either it is Bitcoin or a new BRICS currency, something else is going to come and take the place. Maybe a new payment system other than SWIFT, which is more open source, or maybe similar to open source in the sense that anybody can participate in it and it will be devoid of sanctions. So those kind of things are getting much more boost at this point of time, in my opinion. And if China is pushed too far, and Russia is already under tremendous amount of sanctions, the BRICS card might start to play, and there'll be many willing participants to get into it. That's my feeling. The other aspect also is that most of the American companies, which are huge, they have global trade partnerships, and whenever there's a sanction battle, they face it on all sides. So sooner rather than later, better senses will prevail. If it doesn't happen within 2 years, then hopefully the midterm elections will bring some sense of sanity into place, and things can start moving in the right direction. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a big problem for genomic companies, because we have uncertainty on how FDA is going to work, how clinical trials will work, how drugs will get approved, and what happens to existing approvals. Is there going to be any kind of a rollback? Those are all the questions that come to my mind. I don't know how you guys think, especially our American viewers. I'd like to hear your feedback. What do you think is going to happen with the RFK Jr. nomination going forward? So I'm thinking that all this technical analysis and fundamental analysis means squat, because we just have to be street smart, look at the gossip that's happening on X and Truth Social, and use that as a tool to decide which way the market might go. I'm throwing in the towel right now, but I want to hear from you guys. Please put it in the comment section so that I can get an idea of how you are thinking. I want to hear more from people who are within the United States, who know US better. As you guys know, I live in Toronto, so I might have a biased view of what's happening in the US. There might be a method to the madness. So I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think is happening in the US. Is it still worthwhile doing technical and fundamental analysis to look at the direction in which the stock market will move? That said, let's look at the disclaimer and then proceed further to see what I think might happen in the markets today. Let's start off with the Nasdaq futures. The Nasdaq futures are still bullish. They have been consolidating for a while, and this morning they are down 0.82%. It's around 7:20 in the morning on the 5th of February. There is still a possibility that we might improve. We are below the 20-day exponential moving average. That in my mind is a bearish sign, but we are still above the 200-day exponential, and we are still above the long-term support of the bull channel. So overall, those are all bullish aspects. So if China tariffs rollback takes place, all the problems go away and we see a sudden jump. So that's why I'm saying we are living in a volatile market. Other index futures that I have here is the S&P 500 E-mini futures, which is down 0.45% this morning. And it's also below the 21-day exponential. It is displaying same characteristics. Then I would like to look at the 10-year yields. They have fallen below the line of support of the bull channel, and they are dropping. They have dropped significantly. This is typically good for the stock market, because when money comes out of the US bonds, it goes into stocks and gold. But at this point of time, the stock futures are looking negative. And let us have a quick look at gold. You'll see that gold is at an all-time high and it is picking up. It picked up 0.94% this morning. So you can see that the dollar is losing a little bit of its shine out here. Let us look at the dollar index. The dollar is dropping. It has gone to 107.46. So there is a little bit of readjustment happening. Probably central banks are maybe using dollar to buy gold and putting it in their reserves. That's a distinct possibility. We are very close to 3,000. We are at 2,868. And I'm going to show you another interesting thing. 7th of January, after Donald Trump took over, gold has gained 8.85%. That's a big move for gold in such a short period of time. It's all a vote against the US dollar as a fiat currency and as a international currency and reserve. That's my feeling, and we'll talk more about this in a separate video. I'm still working on. Put call ratio is looking mildly bullish, but it's more neutral to bullish in my opinion. And I'm looking at Dow Jones index in the real-time basis, which is the market is still closed, but yesterday we still ended up above the 21-day exponential, so I'm okay with that. MACD is still bullish, momentum is still above average. S&P 500 ended up 7.72% yesterday, and we are still above the 21-day exponential moving average. That is okay. Russell index is also about 21-day exponential moving average and also created a support at 226.63. So this morning we are up 0.13%, so that also looks pretty decent. Nasdaq is up 1.26% as of yesterday and still above the 21-day exponential moving average. So that's also looking decent in the charts, but we'll have to see the market actions as they happen this morning. Pre-market indicates a lot of weakness and falling below the 21-day exponential moving average. So that's going to be a sluggish start in the morning and things could pick up later. The VIX is up 1.74%, but still below 20 and still below 18.13. So that's a positive in my opinion, but everything looks very mixed. Now let's look at our AI chart. Google has dropped almost 9% yesterday in a post-market session, and it has recovered almost 3% out of the drop that it had. And I'm very confident that Google is going to recover all the way back up, because Palantir is in the applying AI in defense sector. Google had put a ban on that, a self-imposed ban on that, and now they have reversed it. And that is going to be a big catalyst for Google. As you can see here, we have this headline yesterday after the earnings. At around 8:51 p.m. it says Google removes pledge to not use AI for weapons and surveillance. Just imagine the kind of blockbuster earnings Google will get once it gets into the defense area. So I'm going to double up on Google. I'm going to buy more Google today and stock myself up, because Palantir is now going to get a little bit of challenge. And when we look at Palantir charts, I'd like to see if there is any weakness in response to this news. Next, let's look at Tesla. Tesla is down 1% again in pre-market trades. It is coming very close to the support at 378.02. If it falls below this support, then the next support is going to be at 360.19. Apple is down 2.09% after having fallen 3% yesterday after hours, once China announced its probe into Apple Store practices. I predict that even that is going to be reversed. There is going to be a bit of a compromise on the tariffs. It will be postponed by a month following what happened to Mexico and Canada. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Meta is down 0.49% in pre-market trade, but it's in a huge bullish megaphone. Microsoft is down 0.34% in pre-market trades. Microsoft has been struggling really hard, and probably we should expect some announcement from Microsoft about using AI for defense and weapons. That's a possibility. Another thing about Google is that they are using AI for discovering medicines. So that's going to be another positive for Google, especially for genomic investors. That brings Google also into focus. So that said, let's look at Amazon. Amazon is down 1.33%, still in a bull channel. Nvidia is up 0.68%. It has been recovering the last two sessions. The MACD is trying to mend itself, and we have got the 200-day exponential as the next resistance for us, and most probably we'll try to break that today. And if we break that, and if we continue to make green candles and create some kind of a higher high, then that's going to be a positive indication for us. And we have to keep on doing that until we are able to cross this diagonal line of resistance from the previous bear channel. And once we do that, I think we'll be in the all clear. So it's a long way to go, and we have earnings on the 26th of February. So I think that move may not happen before 26th of February. Qualcomm is down 0.60%, and it's being supported by the 200-day exponential as well as the 21-day exponential moving average. And it has got major resistance out here in the diagonal line of resistance that comes from the past. The MACD is still bullish and momentum is still above average. We have earnings which is coming up today after market hours. So depending on the earnings, we'll see whether we are able to break through. And the movements in these cases could be rather fast. And if we were to put a little bit of a keen attention out here, you would see that we happen to have our famous cup and handle formation out here. So I would say that if things go well for Qualcomm, then we could be looking at a target of around, price target of around, let us say 200.70. Next, let us look at AMD. AMD has broken out above the diagonal line of resistance of bear channel, but unfortunately post results it has dropped 9.15% and promptly gone below the diagonal line of resistance. And I think things are looking difficult for AMD, mainly because they did not show any improvement in their data center income, and that's where the future valuation is going to be. And then FNGU is down 17.78% in pre-market trades. It was way below when I looked at it in post-market last evening. So it's also on the mend, and I'm thinking that this could be a good opportunity for the market to bounce back. And this is what I mean when I say that the next 2 to 4 years are likely to be very volatile and technical and fundamental analysis may not work, because we had clearly broken out of a bull flag. There was a consolidation, and there is also an evidence of a potential reverse head and shoulders out here. But whether it will be completed or not is dependent on what executive orders come and the geopolitical issues. Now there is this new requirement from Trump that Palestinians should be moved out of Palestine, and US will redevelop Palestine. Now most of the countries in that area do not support that, neither do the Palestinians. So that creates a problem. And this also opens up another front within the US, because there are pockets of US which abstained from voting to protest what Biden was doing in the Middle East in terms of his policies. Now those people are going to be very unhappy, and what they do is also going to depend what will happen in the midterms. It could also increase geopolitical tension and cause a lot of disruptions that we have not anticipated before. So I think there is going to be a lot of volatility. So I'm going to pay less importance to my technical analysis and fundamental analysis. I'm going to looking more to the news cycles and try to make some estimates from there on how it's going to impact the stocks going forward. And I hope that you guys can also share your thoughts with me, especially those living inside the United States. Please start using the comment section. It's going to be more valuable to us than the videos itself, because we can then gather intelligence and put it to work for the next 2 to 4 years. And then after this period of chaos is over, we can revert back to fundamental and technical analysis. That said, Broadcom is up 2.90% in pre-market trades. It's starting to look good. MACD is on the mend. Momentum is just about average and it's picking up. So that's a good sign. Oracle is down 0.21%, still trying to do the gap fill. has to happen, because both we had the gap down as well as the gap up, and it's a two-way gap that has been created. So it's going to act as a very strong magnet. I don't know what is holding back Oracle right now. It's just a matter of time. Palantir is reacting to two factors. One is that it's super valued at this point of time, and post earnings it jumped up significantly. It's giving back those gains at this point of time. And the other aspect could also be the reaction to the fact that Google is going to become a competitor now. Then we have Micron, which is down 0.55% in pre-market trades. Cloudflare is down 0.46% in pre-market trades. And we have Adobe, which is down 0.10 in pre-market trades. It's a beautiful cup and handle. I'm wondering what it's waiting for. It's got to jump up now, anytime now. MACD is bullish. Momentum is also picking up. Hopefully the magic happens this morning. SMCI is down 1.54% in pre-market trades. ARM holding is up 0.68% in pre-market trades. It has converted the resistance at 161.63 into a support. That's a big move. MACD has turned positive. Momentum is also picking up. And we have earnings this evening after hours. And we are looking at EPS estimate of 0.342 and a revenue estimate of 949.27 million. Anything better than this is going to push the stock upwards, and we may potentially challenge the resistance of 174.38 later today. ASML is down 0.09% in pre-market trades. Intel is down 0.36% in pre-market trades. And then we have SMH, which is down 0.08% in pre-market trades, looking very bearish indeed. And then we have Snowflake, which is down 1.22% in pre-market trades. AVAV is continuing to pick up, and I think AVAV will pick up much more, especially as geopolitical tension becomes strong. If Trump doesn't withdraw his statements about Palestine, then expect all defense stocks to go up. And then we have HBI, my tariff play. It gained 1.39% yesterday. I'm still waiting to sell it off, because I think this tariff thing is going to be a yo-yo, and things may not materialize. So I'm in a negative position with HBI, but the moment I get a little bit of neutral or positive, I'm taking my money out. Netflix is down 0.29% in pre-market. And when we look at the earnings from Disney this morning, you will see that there is a line which says Disney tops quarterly profit estimates but starts to lose Disney Plus subscribers. I am thinking that something similar is likely to happen to Netflix, because they have jacked up their prices significantly, and they also introduced ads. It can only go for so much, because what was the dynamic for cable is now happening for these streaming services, in my opinion. So watch out for Netflix losing value going forward. That said, I'm looking at Rigetti, which is down 0.95% in pre-market trades, but it's still bullish in my opinion, because it's still creating higher lows. So, and it's also above the 21-day exponential and the 200-day exponential, and it has got some really good support at 9.86. Momentum is also above average. So I'm looking at Rigetti for some positives, especially with Bill Gates' comments that quantum computers may become useful within 3 to 5 years. That's a very big positive. SMR is down 0.35%. I don't know why SMR is still struggling, but SMR should move towards its reverse head and shoulder target of 31.88. So friends, that brings me to the end of this video today, and I'll catch up with you again in the next video. And I'm going to be making a dedicated video for Google, and also one on US dollar and its strength and its viability as a global reserve. So watch out for those two videos that will come in the next few days. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.